JC Race Talk fans, man, glad to have you back for another episode. This will be episode number 11. Man, I tell you what, I am so blessed. You guys have all been so great, and I've had some great interviews, and I'm excited for the interview I'm having tonight. As a lot of you guys know, US 36 is going to be hopefully having opening night. And the Power Eye is in the house, and I'm actually going to be calling that race. Alan Staley is going to be at the Midget Nationals at Sweet Springs, and I've got another episode from one of the national touring guys that's going to be this week also. So excited about there. But let me get into my guest today. My guest today has 6 career Power Eye wins, 5 Power Eye War, 1 Power Eye 305 Sprint. He is the 2023 Power Eye War Sprint League champion. He's a runner-up in 2024 and 2025. Multiple Double X Speedway track champions in a 360 sprint car. Graduated from Sweet Springs, winning in micro ranks. Joined Jesse Hockett Racing team in the non-wing sprint while still in high school in 2016. Gradually getting more comfortable in a 14 win car, which we've seen him at a high limit show at Lucas Oil last year, if you were watching that. But here's his stats: 6 quick time, 13 heat races, 3 high point qualifiers, 2 semi features, 3 hard chargers, 81 career starts with War, 6 all-time lifts. And in 2000, this is pretty impressive. In 2025, his stats were his finishes were an average of 3.7. Man, gentlemen, Jack Wagner is in the house. Man, Jack, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. It's always exciting because not only have I seen you race locally here, but I've seen you on a national tour. I've seen you at the Chili Bowl. I've seen you on high limit at Lucas Oil. And it's cool to see our young guys, because in the Show Me State, we've got some real race car drivers, man.
You got that right.
Well, let's talk about how you got started in all this. You know, your career started at Sweet Springs in a micro, I'm assuming, or was it another class?
So my career started actually way before I was even born. My father started running 4-cylinder sprint cars at Warrensburg, Missouri, a little bit at Lake Ozark, ran quite a bit around here whenever they had that going, from 96 all the way up to about 2003. And 2004, he got into a full-blown 360, enjoyed it. Just by that time, me and my brother were on the ground. We was worried about if he was going to get hurt. He was just starting up his business of Wacko Construction back then. So he wanted to dial it back in 2007. And it took him a very short, I want to say 6 to 7 month period. And he's like, I can't just keep sitting around the house on a Saturday night. I got to do something. And my son Jax wanted to drive something for a while. It's all he ever talks about. So for my would have been 8th birthday, he bought me a flat track go-kart, and we went down to the Warrensburg County Fairgrounds and raced at Lasasi Speedway. Got, I believe, 2 track championships there. Won my very first night out. Ran flat track karts all the way up until the winter of 2011. My brother raced right along with me, and in 2012, we decided we're going to go to Sweet Springs. We're going to try out this micro stuff, because the end-all goal, I think, for my dad, he just didn't say it back then, was, all right, I want to go back to sprint cars, but let's get them acclimated to what that's going to be like. Now we're going to be throwing it into a corner. Now we're going to be drifting. What's it going to be like? Because micros and flat track karts are nothing alike. And that took me a while to kind of get the ropes of it. My parents both looked at each other when I got my first start at Sweet Springs, like, is this kid going to step on the gas? What are we doing here?
Right.
And it wasn't fun for me for a little while, because I was frustrated. I just came out of a class where I was doing great, and now I'm stepping into something that's completely different to me. And 2014 came around. We got ourselves our very first championship there in the restricted class. Backed that up with an A-class championship in 2015. Backed that up with winning both A-class and Outlaw at Sweet Springs. And then we traveled to Double X Speedway tail end of 2016, and then the start of 2017 with the micros. Sunday nights at California Speedway, let them come over, and we had great car counts. I remember having car counts up of 20 to 24, 25, and Kyle and Carol Awards put on a really good show for us. And that is where my father got reconnected with Jack Hockett. And him and my dad both ran four-cylinder sprints together back in the 90s and early 2000s. So my dad and him got to talking a little bit. Jack got to see me race a little bit. And Mother's Day weekend of 2017, Jack stopped me before I went to the driver's meeting that night and said, "You just wait here. Don't go nowhere. I want to give you something." Okay. So I'm sitting there, I'm waiting, and I knew I was going to miss the driver's meeting. It was like, this is not normal. This is not my routine. At that point, I'm
Right.
like, I'm this 17-year-old kid. Like there's stages, there's things I need to complete, and driver's meeting is one of them. And Kyle always has some of the most fun driver's meetings you ever go to. You ever been to Double X?
Have not.
Whenever you get the chance to, and I'm going to try to convince you at the end of this show, go to Double X, go to the driver's meeting, and you're going to laugh hysterically because he's a character of his own, man. And I missed that night because Jack came back to the trailer and gave me a remembering Jesse Hockett suit. I had never won at Double X Speedway up to this point. He gave me that suit, had the 77 on the back, the rockets down the sleeves and the pants. I'm like, I was not introduced to him until the week prior. And then he gives me a suit. 17-year-old kid is like, what is going on here? What's going on? Something's going to happen. That night, I got my first win at Double X.
Wow.
My family's micro with Jack Hockett's suit, remembering his son, Jesse. And from there is when I got the full story of who Jesse Hockett was, who he meant to my dad. And my dad's a pretty tight to the chest kind of person when it comes to emotion. I saw so much emotion come out of him that night, learning about how he was connected to Jack and Jesse and how many races he went to watch Jesse at, even after he got out of the car himself. And me and my brother have both grew into this role of we're going to push this legacy on as best as we can, as long as we can, because he's become an idol to the both of us, a complete hero. And I'm not Jesse Hockett, never gonna be. I'm gonna be Jack Wagner. I'm gonna do the best that Jack Wagner can. Wearing the 77 on my back, Jesse Hockett raced across the front of my shirt and my suits. It's an honor to me. Since 2017, we hopped into non-wing. I ran a total of 6 non-wing races in a micro. It took me a long time to really get my feet wet with the non-wing sprint cars. At the time, Casey Schumann was overseeing Power Eye War. It was a wonderful series. It was an average to 28 to 32 cars a night. You had B mains. You had to force yourself to get up on the wheel and go. And I didn't make a lot of shows. Neither did my brother. We were struggling for a little while. And we solidly hit non-wing sprint car shows for 4 years straight before I truly felt like this is something I can do. Wing racing has been in my blood. That's what my father did. That's what he went to watch Jesse do. Jesse didn't do a lot of the non-wings around here, not enough to where my dad would notice. And whenever I go back and think about it, it's like wings is where I grew up. That feels like home. But over that 4-year period, I learned to love and appreciate non-wing racing. It's the reason why I still do this today. Jack Hockett came to me with, "Hey, I want to give you a race-ready car, go run it, and I want it to be non-wing." And now it's what I love, man. I can't get out of it. So it took me 4 years. Then we finally started knocking off a few wins a season, being competitive, running up front, podiums all over the place. We'd have our fault nights, but started to do good. In 2020, I came to Jack and said, "Why don't we go back to Double X? Why don't we do some wing racing?" He was like, "All right." We talked to Dad and we kind of figured out how we're going to do that and made that plan work. So the summer of 2021, we came out with wings at Double X Speedway and we run there weekly. Are going to plan on running there weekly again this year. I've stacked up 2 championships, multiple wins against some amazing competition that's down there. It's a very slept on racetrack, and I hate that because it's a special place. It's somewhere that Jesse really grew to enjoy, love, and that's what they call it. It's Jesse Hockett's Double X Speedway. His very last race before he passed away, he won that. And that's something that I try to carry on every time I roll into those pits is this is for Jesse. And I'm going to do whatever I can to keep that legacy going.
Well, I mean, you've just laid it all out there, and you're right. The flag you're carrying is a flag
It's
that
steep.
it's everybody knows who Jesse Hockett is, and we lost him way too soon
You got that right.
with a freak accident that happened. And I remember the wave that it sent through the sport because not only was he a good racer, but he was a very well liked guy also. Everybody had a story to talk about when it come to Jesse. So that
And not
really,
just Jesse, but his cousin Daniel. We lost
Yep.
him way too young as well. And
Yep.
there's a small detail on every car that we have this year. It's got On the non-wing cars, there's a guitar sticker on the hood, and on all the wing cars, he's in the inside board on the left side is a guitar on the very top. This is 20 years that we're remembering Daniel. And if anybody knows Daniel, anything about Daniel, he was a karaoke machine. He absolutely loved it.
Really?
The story goes, if Jesse's sprint car career didn't take off and they didn't go places, they were going to move to Nashville and they were going to figure out how to get Daniel up on the big stage. And he got taken away far too early from us too. So this is something that we wanted to try and remember Daniel this year being 20 years past.
Well, that's a cool tribute, that's for sure. You've talked about some wing stuff, and again, I've even brought it up. I seen you at Lucas and the high limit stuff, running with the wing on. You and your brother both. Is that something? And I say this with all due respect, because I tell you, the non-wing racing guys, that's a different breed.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's a totally different breed. I interviewed Ricky Lewis last year at Valley Speedway, and I asked him, so when you putting a wing on this thing going World Outlaw? He goes, are you kidding me? I ain't never doing a wing on nothing. And USAC is really giving you guys a platform to really run some cool stuff, along with Power Eye, along with MRA. I mean, you guys really have a lot of opportunities to run this year. You're going to get 30, maybe even 40 shows in this year.
I think the total count is going to be just under that 30 mark. If one guy wants to run both War and MRA, I think he can get just under 30. And I ask everybody, please come and do it. But I do know that there's going to be about 5, 10, 12 guys that are just going to run one series or the other. And I'm going to hate that, because the reason we all came together last year was to get the car counts back up, make everybody improve. If your best guys are split on each night, all we're doing is just getting stagnant, which is just fine. We're all good to a certain degree, but when we're together, we push each other. We make each other better. We make each other, okay, what's my next step to improve? And last year, I think that was proven over everybody. Wyatt Burks is by far the best points racer that we have running right now. And he pushed me, and it took all the way into that very last race, and he outdid us. His consistency and his ability to keep cars together and to go out there and win is incredible. Same thing with Wesley Smith. Wesley me and him have talked about this. He's not the point guy. He's I'm going out to win every night, and I don't care what's going to happen.
Right.
And that both of those minds, for me, put together, all it does is help us. And I'm hoping everybody continues to run together. Yes, it's 2 series, completely different run, different formats, different way you get into the show, different payouts. Okay, I get it. But please, everybody come and still race together, because the only way that Kansas City is going to get better is to run with each other. Guys like Ricky Lewis, or guys like even the guys who are going to run the series this year, Kobe Simpson and Chase Howard, coming out of Texas and Mississippi, respectively. Those guys come because they know this is a good group to be with. This is somewhere that even those guys can come and improve, but they're just as close to USAC on the national tour or Indiana or Illinois. And those guys prove they travel and they choose to come here. Why is that? Because we have a group that you can grow with. We're not guys that go out there. Everybody works until 5 o'clock on Friday. Everybody's going to work their butts off to keep their cars together. We're not going to go out there and total each other, because that's the guy I got to race against next week. And I want him to keep running, because the more we're on racetracks together, the better we're all going to.
For sure. But bringing in those guys like a Ricky Lewis, and then let me back up. The one thing that I did really like when the MRA, and I've talked to Sawyer and had an interview with them, a very nice guy, really liked the family, great people.
Got a lot of respect for John for his car ownership over Corey Schutte for many, many years. I've known those guys for a long time, and I do want to help and support that series because of the man that he is, and I know he's going to put on a good show. I do.
But I love the fact that they didn't step on each other. There is no Power Eye War race on the same night as MRA, and vice versa. And I thought that showed a lot of respect between the 2 series.
And I hope that someday down the road, both can intermingle again and do a co-sanctioned race every year of some kind. Maybe, I don't know how you want to spin it to make it all work, but I do hope that everybody drives under the same banner at some point or another, because it's going to keep the car counts up. I want B mains every night. I want what I came in here for. The guy that's a rookie this year, he has to work his butt off to be able to make these shows, because they're tough. It's not going to be, we're at 20 cars and that's our cap. I
Right.
want it to be our 25, 27 cars like we had the other night at Springfield. Amazing racetrack, by the way. That is very different from what I've ran around here before. So cool. We were able to get all 27 cars on racetrack due to weather conditions, and it still put on a great show. But all cars together, you have that pressure of you can get sent to a BMA if you don't do well. That makes you overstretch yourself just a little, and each week you get better. I'm hoping to get back to that point around the Kansas City area.
Well, I think you will. I will tell you that there's been a real surgeon. I mean, you guys have been averaging even before MRA, you guys were averaging 25, 30 cars pretty regularly.
Very regular.
And so I think that that's still there. I think that this is just a growing.
There's slump years for everything. Economy is definitely something that drives everyone.
Sure.
And like I said, everybody works Monday through Friday, late Friday most of the time. So not everybody's going to be able to make it, but everybody hopes to. And I'm really happy.
Yeah, well, and I am too, and I'm happy. I am the announcer at US 36, so I get to call your guys' war races because Alan can't be at every one of them. As we were saying earlier, he's going to be at Sweet Springs with the National Midget Show. So I'm excited because I really enjoy calling you guys, just like I enjoyed calling the 305 Race Savers and all that too. So I'm excited about that.
Good.
Last year, you picked up a win at US 36.
I did. I
Uh,
did.
and pretty impressive win, actually. Um, but you know what? I don't think people know you for the win at 36. I think they know you for the viral video that just went out here uh, back in March
US 36,
at,
come to
at,
find
at,
out.
at US 36 with Chaz and Justin Lawson giving you a Dale Earnhardt Sr. jacket. I did not know that you were such a Dale Earnhardt Sr. fan. So where did that start? Where did that come from? I mean, that's a full body car. You're supposed to be a Steve Kinzer fan or a Sammy Swindell fan. You're not supposed to be a Dale Jr. fan.
Yeah. So that also stems from my father. He was big into NASCAR or whenever he was in. So his first car, he was going to put together a street stock. And one of his father's buddies was driving the 4-cylinder Sprint and invited him down to Warrensburg Speedway on a mechanics night. Said, hey, get in, see what you think. He never ended up putting the street stock together because he loved the sprint car so much and followed that route, but still had Earnhardt Senior hats and the T-shirts and all that kinds of stuff. Had the diecast cars all over the place, and as well as my grandfather, my mom's dad. He was a huge Senior fan. Passed away in 2001. I was born in 2000, so I never really
Gotcha.
did get a full knowledgeable conversation with the man.
Gotcha.
But he left me, not this particular one, but he left me a Dale Senior hat. And if anybody, and John, you can go to John Lee and ask him because he's got plenty of them. When I was all throughout my go-kart ranks and my Sweet Spring ranks with the micros, I had my grandfather's Dale Earnhardt Senior hat because he gifted that to me when I got older.
Yeah,
So
that's cool.
I tried to model my personality, my persona, whatever I got to the racetrack, like I want to be that intimidator. Now, I didn't exactly get that moniker. I got the gentleman for Alan Staley Can Tell You Reasons.
Right.
Um, I want to be different. There's something about differences remembered. And all of this, like Carson Hocevar just winning the
Hmm.
NASCAR race there at Talladega. You
Yeah,
do something different, you're remembered for it. Being a good person, you're remembered for that.
absolutely.
Earnhardt is something bigger than life. You see that black number 3, the good wrench on the side. Like people, I've got so many different compliments about, dude, that's a nice hat. I'm sitting down at dinner somewhere and the waiter comes over and tells me this. Or
Right.
I'm walking in Walmart and I'm trying to get my groceries for the week and somebody will pull me off and they'll just start a conversation. Like I love Dale Earnhardt for who he was for the sport and what he instilled in me as far as a determination to go out here and win. But the culture around this black number 3 that's on the side of his hat
Right.
means the world to me just as much as the 77 does on the side of the car and on the side of my suits, because both of those, the full body black number 3 on the asphalt side and the dirt 77, you put those two personalities together, this is who you get. Enjoy it.
Well, there's no doubt that you have a personality. Remember last year you picked up a win at Valley Speedway, and you'd been on a little bit of a drought. And I don't know that I've seen a handful of guys as excited as you were that night. You were fired up. And again, I know a lot of that come from having the slump and not quite getting it quite right, not making it happen. And boy, now we found something. Now something's happening. I mean, obviously, you don't have a 3.7 average finish and not be running up front. But when you can't pull that, when you feel like you should be winning all the time, and you're just one spot or two spots short, I know
It'll
that
get to
feeling.
you. Boy, it'll get to you.
It'll eat you up.
Yes, it will. Yes, it
It'll
will.
flat eat you up. I mean, you'll work that much harder and be that much more tired and
Trust me, the tired part is I don't sleep at night the night after I get second or third place. After I knew if I would have perfected turn 3 on lap 5, that could have way changed the rest of the race. But to go back to Justin Lawson, that's actually one of my family members.
Really?
So
I did not know
Nicole,
that.
his wife, that is my father's cousin. She was adopted at a very young age, and her and my dad spoke many times growing up.
Gotcha.
He married Justin, and over the years, or recently, within the last 5 or 6, we've all got to know each other, mostly at Green Valley, enjoying the non-wing races. Over the last 2 seasons now, I've worn this Earnhardt hat. Me and my brother buy and sell out race cars, and there's a Kansas City swap meet, and all the guys get together, and we try and peel off each other's parts, try to find what's going to work out for this guy, what's going to work out for that guy, try and keep the program going. And Justin came to me during that swap meet. He was like, "Hey, I forgot to bring it today, but I got something for you." I was like, "All right." Well, I didn't see him for a little while longer.
Right.
Until that night at US 36. He's like, "Hey, I've got something for you." I was like,
Yeah.
"All right, what did you got?" So we stood there at the top of the grandstands, and he walked all the way to his car, came all the way back with his little cardboard box. Okay, what is this? And he gave me small hints about it, something involving my hat. Well, obviously, what is it? So I opened that up, and that's the coolest thing, because you never think that, like I said earlier, what you wear, people recognize that, they remember that. And Justin thought highly enough of me and my love for this that he wanted to gift that to me.
Yeah. It was cool.
Coming
It was
from
cool.
coming from a family member, coming from how much he has seen me with this hat on, like, that means the world to me. I'm gonna cherish that forever because of how he put those pieces together. It's an amazing feeling that what you wear, like what I wear, is a representation of me and what I believe in. For Justin to do that is absolutely unreal, and I can't thank him enough.
Yeah, no, it was very cool. And like I said, it was even cooler that it became the viral moment that it became with Chaz, and Chaz is so funny, making fun of Justin and his beard and his hat.
Yeah.
And that whole thing, it was just a perfect moment.
Yes,
And
it
I will
was.
tell you, what I got out of it was you were so grateful, and I could tell that in the video. It really meant something to you. And that was kind of cool because I can act, and we can edit, and we can do all these things, but people want to see a genuine Shawn. They want to see a genuine Jack. They want to see what we're really about. And that was a cool moment for that. Now,
And there's something else to all of us racers. I think all have kind of the stigmatism of they're all about themselves. They don't really give two craps what the guy next to them's all about. I'm a fan. There's a lot of people that on their off nights, they're not going to races. I went to the World of Outlaws races. I love seeing the World of Outlaws at US 36.
absolutely.
I've gone to World of Outlaws shows at Lake Ozark when I didn't bring my own stuff because we didn't have things ready that weekend, or at the time we didn't have 410 wing cars. I want to go because I want to watch in person. What can I pick up to get better? One. Number two, I want to go have a good time, see all my buddies. I'm a fan, and I'm proud of it.
No, I am too. And frankly, I mean, I'm in the dirt world. It seems like there's a lot of open wheel or late model or modified.
And they're all segregated. There's never really a whole lot of overlap.
Well, I will tell you, I'm opposite.
All right.
Don't get me wrong. If I'm going to travel and go somewhere, like me and my wife go every year to the World 100, I am a late model guy. I really like the late models. But we went to the King's Royal 2 years ago. I wanted my wife to experience something different.
Yeah.
I've been to Knoxville. We've done them all. But frankly, if it's good racing, I really don't care.
That's the ticket right there.
Yeah. I mean, I will tell you, I was at Electric Cities Friday night with the Midwest Hornet Series, They had 44 Hornets and put on an unbelievable show. And I was like, you know what? I can get along with that. I mean, it was a good show because that's ultimately what I want to be entertained. I want to watch good side by side, good racing, slide jobs, aggressive driving. Those are things I
You're
want
getting
to see.
there. You're almost getting. There's a word you're missing.
What's that?
We're all deep down. We're all competitive. If I can see
Yeah.
two guys that are competitive and want it, I'm gonna pay attention.
Yep. Well, and I'm going to watch that. I mean, I'm going
Yeah.
to watch that evolve. I mean, I'm going to watch that happen. And yeah, so I mean, definitely. Let's go back to Springfield this weekend. That's the fastest quarter mile I've ever raced on. I raced modified on it, and man, oh man, that place is fast. What did you think? Baby,
So
but
that was
smooth and fast.
So that's kind of what I was expecting. The first time I ever saw Springfield Raceway was the Power I War season opener back in 2018.
Gotcha.
It's been a little while. Trust me. I blinked a time or two between here and then.
Sure.
So last year, I got the opportunity to race for Terry Brown under the Doug Fry and Madison Fry banner with the 305 wing car. And we were down there, had a blast. From what I remember to 2018 to last year, facility has improved a bunch. Racetrack was amazing. We were pushing off to start the feature, and the track owner is still out there trying to make the racetrack good for us, spraying water and packing it in. Turned out amazing. So looking forward to this past weekend is like, this is going to be sweet. Well, in the 305 versus, let's make this clear. Non-wing to 305 wing to 360 wing to 410 wing. Yes, the last three have wings. They're all completely different. In a non-wing car, it's way more of a bowl shape than I was expecting. You're constantly sideways. You're never really at a straightaway. And you said smooth, but actually there were some cushions in 1 and 2 that were catching me up. And the more I watched the Flow subscription and watching guys behind me, they were stripping them up too. Like, it was a fun all-around race. I enjoyed every bit of it all the way up until about lap 16, and then it started to go south for me.
Right. Well, that's what, and trust me, the promoter, that is the hardest job ever, getting a racetrack ready. And what, because you have so many variables. You got wind, you got sun, do we put too much water on, not enough water on? Do we have a good base underneath? Is it going to come in? All those things. But Jerry does it really, really well there. And it always seems to be really, really racy.
I enjoy it whenever I see a promoter go out and they may have made a mistake. They may have not put enough water or put too much on it. But when I see a promoter go out in the middle of the night and continue to work on it because he wants to put on the best show for everybody, that's a guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. We had that problem at Valley Saturday night with the four state late models, and it got a little character in it, and he worked it up really well. Excuse me, I got a little cold this weekend, and I'm still trying to fight it.
I got you.
So I apologize, but
no problem at all.
But I like when a promoter will go, hey, let's get the blade out. Let's get the sheet foot out. Let's figure this thing out. I also like a promoter that, like Jerry, that will run, at least for me, I like a technical racetrack. I always like a technical racetrack. So if it's black from top to bottom, I'm okay with that because that makes for good racing. The guys that are really good are going to go to the front. The guys that struggle, that are the point and step on the gas guys, going to struggle a little bit. And so I like those kind of races because it just seems to be better 2 and 3 and 4 wide racing.
Absolutely.
I tell people this all the time. One of the top 3 races in my career that I've seen that was by far top 3 best races I've ever seen. One of them was the Mopar Million non-wing show at Eldora that Jack Hopchild won.
Yes.
I tell you what, that place, there wasn't a spot on the racetrack you didn't have a race going on. 2, 3, 4 wide everywhere. I mean, you would have thought you'd watching a late model race. I mean, it was that crazy. And then they were racing for the big purse, and I think it was $250,000 to win, which was big money back then. And man, that was a show. I mean, it was a show. So 26 has started for you. What's Gentleman Jack's goals for this year, and where are you wanting to do some more 410 stuff with the wing? Not so much. You want to stay with your roots? Are you going to run any of the national USAC stuff? Are you going to make a trip to Indiana or Illinois? Or I'm going to be Mother's Day. I'm going to Red Hill Speedway with the MRA just because it's 7 miles from my mom and dad's house. And so, yeah, so I'm like, I'm going to go see my mom. My mom's not doing well in health, and it's maybe my last Mother's Day. You never know. So I'm going to go spend some time with my mom and catch a race while I'm there. But what are you guys' plans for the year?
Fill up the race schedule wherever it is. Yes, I'm going to continue to run non-wing. Yes, I'm going to run 360s at Double X every Sunday. The idea is we might take a few non-wing races off and go run with the Power I 410 Regional Series, but it's all up to what are we feeling like this week? Because me and my brother both have been good enough to where we've drug each other into points battles for a little while, and that can get drawing. That can take a lot of the fun out of it. If I
Right.
get into a point series and we end up winning because me and him both are going for wins and wins only, and the points just add up because of it, that's one thing. But going out in points racing this year, we'll just see what happens. I want to improve no matter wing on, wing off, wherever we go. If I can get my dad and Jackson to say, hey, let's go to the USEX show, I want to. I've only ever set foot in Indiana one time to race. It was at Hobstadt. It was a co-sanctioned
Huh?
deal between
Yep.
Power Eye and I think it wasn't the Midwest Thunder Series, it was MSC, something else that they had out there. We got the drivers meeting done. All the cars are out. They said, hey, rain's coming in about 10 minutes. I'd load up for a little bit. And they said in about 30 minutes, we'll be all right. Hurricane 5 came through and we got rained out. So that's the only time I've ever been to Indiana. I really want to. I feel like our program is good enough to go out there and try.
Mhm.
Just need some help to get out there. I want to go out there someday. If I have a chance to go out there for Kokomo Smackdown, like something like that, or the Indiana Sprint Week, where it's multiple days
Yeah.
in a row and work's not going to be a big factor that week, that's what I'd love to go do. Work's getting bigger and bigger every year, so it's harder and harder to get away. But no matter where we go, no matter what car or class we're going to run in, the idea is to improve.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I think Dakota Earls has really improved by doing that stuff. They went out and ran at that sprint week out in Indiana last year, and you can definitely see that young man's starting to really get himself up there. I mean, running pretty consistently anyway.
Seat time is a big thing, especially in this non-wing class. And going out like Ricky Lewis coming over here or
Yeah.
anybody else that comes over here. We had Kyle Shipley show up quite a few times last year.
Yep. Yep.
Guys that have Indy experience or even California experience, let's be really honest, the non-wing class out there is extremely
Huge.
stout.
Yeah.
When those guys show up here, we all step up our game. I by no means am the top dog around here. Never going to say that because I don't believe it. I'm a tough one, but I'm not top dog.
Right.
There's a lot of tough dogs that are around here. But
Yeah.
when one of those big ones comes in, we all just step it up a little bit, a little
Yeah.
more, a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit more. So when Dakota or Wesley, Wyatt, when those guys get a
Right.
chance to go over there, they come back and they learn something, they apply it, and they get better. So the more that those guys, all of our guys go out there and give it a shot, they learn something. They bring it back. I hope to go out there someday. I'm really trying to go out there as much as I can, but just haven't got the shot yet.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned him earlier. A kid that I've been watching here, and frankly, just a really nice kid, Kobe Simpson. That kid is becoming a shoe now.
He's a stud.
He's getting there. I mean, he really is, and it's just impressive. The guys coming from Texas up here to run with you guys
Yeah.
every week. It's just something. It's just cool.
Because it
But
means something.
sure it does. Yeah, and that's cool. And on top of it, he's just a great kid too. On top of
Absolutely.
it, yeah, just a really nice young man. Going to be at 36 Friday night.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. You mentioned maybe doing some 410 stuff with the Power Eye. I just did an interview with Alan. They've got some heavy hitters now. Blake Hahn, ASCS champion. Jennington, three-time, four-time champion. I mean, I think he's going for number 4 or number 5
Number
this year.
4 this year. Yep.
Yeah, number 4
My
this
little
year.
brother wrenches on that car. I know
Gotcha.
all about that car, how it goes. Ace Bodenhammer is a kid that he was Samuel's best friend growing up. He wrenched on our cars for a little while. He got an opportunity to go with Ayrton. I claim that kid. That's my little brother, so I keep up on that car quite often.
Yeah.
I know all the guys that run that series. Half of them I graduated with from Sweet Springs, and I've run against them
Right.
a little bit here and there. So it's a pleasure to get to run against those guys with the Power Eye group. My only problem is I got to figure out how to qualify. If I can figure out how to qualify, we'll be
Right.
all right. Our race program does okay in the heat races, but we're mired so far back and having to really work our butts off to make features. But
Right.
if I get enough time in a 410 wing car and figure out qualifying, I think we'll put on a good show.
Well, but I don't think people realize how different they are. I mean, a
extremely
wing car Yeah, a wing car compared to a non-wing car, totally different. Downforce. I mean, you set them up, totally different. I mean, everything about it, that is a huge learning curve.
How you move your hands, how you move your feet, what are you doing with your pedals? It's all different. Your points of entry, how you enter, where you're going to enter behind somebody. What's the perfect time for momentum to build around a corner, throw a slide job? When's the perfect time to be patient, let somebody crisscross and then make a move? All of it is so much different. And truly, the guys that run the 410 series, they have a little bit more backing or have some people that really want them to go out there and do well. And those guys are a little bit more cutthroat than what the non-wing series is around here. And I'm perfectly okay with that because I feel like I'm one of the non-wing guys when it comes to we work on our stuff every week. We want to come back every week. But to go to race the 410 series, those guys aren't going to hesitate. It's fun to go back. It's fun to go to the 410 series, get a little bit of that, sharpen the knife, come back to the non-wing, and then apply a little bit. So I take attributes from the both of them, and it's a fun time. I just hope one day we put in enough time into both. I can be good at both of them. The
Yeah.
idea is someday if Lake Ozark or God, this would be one I haven't done, but I really want to. If I can win both series on one night, Lake Ozark, Lucas Oil on a particular night, if you put the pieces together, you know what night I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
If I can do that, you're probably going to be covering your ears because I'm going to be wailing.
Well, if that happens, you have to come back and see me. Deal?
Deal.
All right. Well, hey, we're about 40 minutes into this thing. Who do you got to thank that makes all this happen for you? None of us can do this sport on our own. So who do you got to thank that makes all this happen?
So I'm going to pull up on my notes because this year we got quite a few people that made it hell happen for us. I'm going to read them off to you and give reasons why. So obviously my mom and dad, if it wasn't for them asking me, hey, do you want to race back in 2008? None of this would have happened. Right. Then I got to thank Jack and Connie Hockett for believing in me enough to let me run their son's name and number in his honor and carry as long as we have, even through some of my mistakes on the racetrack and learning and taking, in my opinion, too long to get some of it figured out. I appreciate everything that they've done for me leading up to this point. They're amazing people. Their entire family's amazing. If you ask any of them, they cook the best crappie in the world. And trust me, I can attest to that. They're damn good at it. People that have come up with us through the micro ranks, it's Ace Bodenhammer's parents, it's Brett and Jackie Bybee. They travel with us almost everywhere up and down the road, no matter if it's on a Friday, on a Thursday, Sundays. They come every week helping whichever way they can. They've been an extreme help for us. I gotta thank Reagan Hockett for everything that she does for team morale throughout the weeks. That is gonna actually be that's my brother's fiance is Reagan Hockett. So
Gotcha.
now a Wagner and a Hawkins getting together. So it just further ties everything together. My
There you
girlfriend,
go.
Madison Fry, for keeping my mental state as well as it is week in and week out and just always giving me support. Come out here and do this. It's awesome. Jesse Hockett Racing for what they do and the family that the Hockets bring. The Hockett show at both Double X on Memorial Day weekend, as well as the Hockett show down at Lucas Oil Speedway. Everything that comes with it is awesome. Casey Platinum Contract, that's my father's business now. Me and my brother both work for him every day, every week, 8 nights most of the time. And then we also work on the race cars. I got to think David Lee's and Lee's Trash Service this year has come on in a huge way. And we've only ran twice this year, but every week he's asking whenever there was rain out, hey, are you guys going anywhere? Because I want to come and support you guys before I say, let's call out this weekend. We could either go to, what was it, US 36 was the first rain out of the year.
Yeah.
Well, the Outlaws were also at Peebly that week. He was like, hey, I want to give you guys the first shot out before I just say, hey, we're going to pack up my folks and we're going to go to Peebly. So it's awesome that David's come on this year. He's went down to Springfield for that first one. He went to Lucas Oil Speedway for that first one as well. He's been
Nice.
an awesome addition to the team. That's Electrical is Nathan Simpson and family. Nathan was my very first sponsor that I ever had on my flat track go-kart when it was a white number 73. He handed me a $20 bill when I was 8 years old and said, hey, whenever you make it big someday, just remember I was the first one that ever gave you a sponsor. And I always thank Nathan every time I see him. Have fun at the Knoxville Nationals together. I'm a whiskey drinker. Me and him have a whiskey once in a while.
All right.
That's been an awesome, awesome family for many, many years. Midwest Pools is another set of Hawkins. It's Jeremy Thies and his wife, Brittany. Brittany's Jack Hawkins' niece. That's been an awesome addition this year because it further makes the ties into the Hockett family. Dirt Track Souvenirs is Terry Ford and Fred Schaefer. Those guys have followed mine and my brother's careers. There's also Miles Paulus and many others. That's the Orange Souvenir trailer outside of almost all the shows we show up to. Double X
Nice.
Speedway is the big one. You're going to see about a 22 or 28-foot orange trailer. It's got all the souvenirs you want in the world, t-shirts, hats, and Terry comes up with new stuff every week. He came up with this idea from Sheldon Hodenshield. I hope all the girls like it. We'll see what happens. Sheldon's got these little hair clips in
Yeah.
the shapes of sprint cars.
Yeah.
Terry's going to try and
Yep.
get that figured out for
I
us
have
this
seen
year.
those.
Him and Fred have just come up with some awesome things to help promote us and all the local guys that are around the area.
That's awesome.
Mike Ruba Productions is the guy that's going to be doing a lot of our film this year. He's a kid that I started noticing a little bit whenever he was holding up camera at Double X Speedway. Me and him have had a lot of talks. All of the promo photos that we've had for this season and videos, that's all coming out of Mike and his father, Alan, and his wife, Rita. Can't thank them enough for coming on because they're making us look a lot better than what we've shown so far. We got a few mechanical gremlins that me and my brother got to work through, and we'll get them figured out. Once we get them figured out, we'll be fast, I promise. Just going to take us a little bit of time. I'm Lewis Painting. Rob has the most beautiful push truck I've ever seen. If you've seen it, come around I-70, US 36. It's this bronze Chevy Blazer, a little bit lifted with a roll cage rolled back on a summer night. Rob's got the prettiest push truck I've ever seen. He came on about 2 years ago after coming to a shop party one night for my brother's 21st birthday, actually.
I got you.
And he was like, you know what? I've always wanted to help somebody out. I want to help you guys out because of the family aspect that you guys all have.
That's awesome.
And it's been awesome to have him on for the past couple of seasons. Jefferson Street Storage is another one of my folks. We own a storage facility in Lee Summit, Missouri, and we operate Casey Platinum out of there. Edgewater RV Park is Chris Fanning. Chris has been a family friend of Jack Hawkins for a very long time. Just always wants to pitch in, hey, you need a tire here, hey, you need a tire there. Comes to almost all the shows, especially the ones at Lucas Oil down by where he's from. Him and his wife have been nothing but amazing to us. Osage Mini Mart is actually, that kind of ties into what I was saying about Nathan Simpson earlier. Osage Mini Mart was one of Jesse's first ever sponsors, and Jack has been able to bring them on every year since we got started with each other. So there's first time ties with everything all over the place. It's really, really cool. Surebelt Suspension, Mike Sure and everybody over there. When we got started off in micros, Mike was the guy that was the best, and in my opinion, still the best about putting suspension on race cars and tunes them up real nice. Every weekend, we're always there. It's definitely not due to Mike's lack of effort that keeps us off the podium. It's my mistake. It's what I'm doing to drive the car. I either overdrive it or underdrive it. I'm constantly trying to get better, and Mike's just doing nothing but help us there. AFD Graphics, I got to say it. Andrew Felker has the prettiest way to lay out tail tank numbers that I've ever seen, and his cars are just beautiful. He's done them for a couple of years now and does nothing but just make us look better. Donut Racing Engines, Adam Kofer and Donut have, at a moment's notice, they're able to pick up the phone and say, hey, we need anything, what's going on? The speed that Donut produces for us is second to none. And then a personal one for me that just came on was Cardi Hydrographics. So if anybody's been paying attention to the recent Facebook posts I've been putting out, I got a different helmet last year, bright white. It was a deal that I had to make. I needed a helmet at the time. It was a Bell, and they didn't have in my size, and black was what I've always drove, is black helmets. Well, last year I left the family business, tried something a little bit different, and through that met a guy named Tyler McCarty. He does a hydro dipping business, and he's normally, like, during the hunting season, he dips deer skulls, gets a pattern on them, gets wall mounts made for everybody that comes his way. Well, I was like, hey, I have this really bright helmet that I need something done to it. Let's see what we can do here. So I'm sporting Cardi Hydro Dips or Hydrographics this year due to him. He's made that thing look beautiful. One side of it is American flags. I'm patriotic. I'm born on June 14th. That's Flag Day, if anybody else didn't know. Yep. So I proudly support the red, white, and blue. The other half is red camo because, yes, us drivers are crazy, and green is not necessarily necessarily I want something on the side of the race car, but
Right.
we decided to go with the red camo for his business, and hoping to send a couple more of my buddies his way too, because he put some really good hard work and time into it. So that's all the people that we've got supporting us this year. I'm really proud to represent all of them. Hope I get some chances to promote more on start to finish, flow, Dirt Vision. If the World of Outlaws come around again this year, any and everywhere I can promote these great people, I want to. They put together a wonderful car for me and my brother to drive. That's another person I need to say on here. My little brother is awesome about finding deals, getting us the parts and equipment it takes to put great pieces together. I am not mechanically inclined. I think I know that sometimes this bolt tightens the right way and that bolt tightens the left way. But
Right.
overall, it's my brother that puts these race cars together and makes them as fast as they are. I'm just the lucky guy sitting in the 77 seat that gets to drive them like crazy. But my brother is a huge help week in and week out. We're right next to each other in the shop every night, putting these things together to make them go fast and put it on a show for the fans on the weekends.
That's awesome. Where can we find you? What social media you guys on? What that kind of stuff?
So we got Wagner Boys Racing on Facebook, WBR, my personal account, my brother Samuel from Wagner Racing on Facebook as well. I have an Instagram that sometimes pops up once in a while. Me and Mike Ruba have both kind of collabed on a couple of the videos. So I have a TikTok. I just try and play around a little bit. I like to throw some videos together, just make something cool, just get me kind of pumped up for the weekend. So TikTok,
Nice.
Instagram, Facebook, Jack Wagner.
Well, Jack, man, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I'm super, super excited to see you guys Friday night at US 36
I am
for
too.
the War Series. Hopefully, with any luck, I'll be down there interviewing you in Victory Lane. How about that?
I couldn't love that anymore. But I think we both had to do one more shout out. Hey, Alan Staley, thank you very much for hooking us up, buddy. This has been awesome. How does he say it? Buckle in, batten down the hatches, Alan. It's time to go to war.
Yeah, he does. He's awesome. Well, fans, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, thank you, Jack, for spending some time with me. I also want to send a huge shout out to Rod End Supply. They've come on as my sponsor, my primary sponsor for the show, and I just can't thank Bob Douglas enough. I'm also going to be doing a little bit of announcing with the Midwest Lightning Sprint Series, so I'm excited about that. But guys, we'll see you all at the races.